Hi friends, we've come to the last in our series on hearing God. Today I want to talk to you about one of the patterns that we oftentimes see in Scripture, and that is how God acts starting from small to big. Now this isn't always true, and there are some significant exceptions, but let me share with you the principle anyway. The principle is this: very often God asks us to do small things before He asks us to do big things. Here's what I mean. He will decide to entrust us with something that's smaller to see if we will act responsibly, take it seriously, rely on Him, pray, a small challenge before we begin to take on bigger and bigger challenges. Now, a notable exception might be somebody like Joseph and Mary. We don't have any indication in their lives before this time that they were asked to do anything. Maybe they were. But Mary, a young woman, was asked to be the mother of God. And for some of us, we might look at that story and say, that's a very big first step. The thing that I love about our God is that He knows who we are and what we can handle, what's exactly within our reach with His grace. But let's go back to the principle. If we let Him, God will begin to challenge us right where we are and move us forward. You see this in many places in Scripture, including the parable of the talents, in which God gives little in accordance with what we are able to handle. And then as we grow into that, He gives us more and more responsibility, more and more ability, and more passion for the things that move Him. Now here's why I share this with you. Because in Bill's last video, he talked about some pretty big things. He talked about some things like racism. He talked about some things like immigration. And for many of us, those issues seem way bigger than us. But he asked an important question, and that is, what's something that God might do with us or among us to help affect those issues in our nation? And it's a powerful question. Here's my challenge for you as you think about this. Are we able to listen to God in a way that helps us hear God beyond our own hurts, beyond our own history, beyond our own culture, beyond our own politics, and actually just hear God? If God were to tell a Republican something that wasn't part of Republican doctrine, could you hear it? If He was able to tell a Democrat something that wasn't right in line with Democratic doctrine, could you hear it? Because there's no one in Scripture that declares God a Republican or a Democrat. God is for people, and He asks us to love. As you conclude your series on hearing God, I want you to think about ways in which you can make yourself wide open to hearing God. It's going to mean that you're going to have to set aside some things, some objections, maybe some biases. It's going to mean that you're going to have to be open to allowing God to using you in ways that you might not have ever imagined. And there are plenty of stories in Scripture like that that illustrate that God is not beyond doing that. But when we do, we will find that God will not only begin to share the deepest parts of His heart with us, which is really a pretty amazing thought, but He will also begin to change us. He won't just use us in this world as His tool to be a love and a light. He will actually begin to change us to reflect more of His heart and His soul. But a key piece of that is our willingness to listen beyond the walls, the boundaries, and the established things inside of us that we've put up, to hear God and to respond. Are we willing to do that? I pray as a church we are. I hope this study has been rich and your last conversation is full together. Have a great time.